to Kalista and Annie here.
Yeah, very good pick if he can get through the laning phase. We don't see much Hecarim these days because he just doesn't exert enough early game pressure because he's very item dependent. But that has been a champion that Ixu has gone back to time and time again this season.
So will he lock it in? How do you think the Hecarim would do against this Rumble?
Oh, he'll have problems early for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Maokai going to be less item reliant and more reliable. And Ixu's been playing Maokai and Hecarim both all season, but
yeah,
Hecarim, again, if he gets behind, he starts to have issues. Maokai is much more reliable, even if you get behind in the laning phase. So that will be seen as the safer pick. So Lucian, see a few Lucian games here and there. Usually just a matter of picking for that lane strength.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pick potential on Anarchy's side as well too, as far as like getting in, grabbing somebody, and bursting them down really quickly.
Indeed, and there's a nice siege. Ezreal and Lucian together in the mid game should have some pretty good ability to take down towers early.
Yep.
Meanwhile, SBENU going with a very meta composition. We'll see how this Kalista does here in Korea. They do have that Kalista-Annie combo, which is a very high kill pressure lane. So Songyun and Snowflower going to have to be a bit careful. We'll see if the Kalista changes lead to some differences in itemization here.
It really is like a very heavy positioning emphasized team fight for both teams, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. And SBENU should have some, if they get standard lanes, they should have a nice advantage. So we'll see if that comes through for them. We'll see how well Sassen can roam on the map. Of course, Ezreal will be pushed in, and if Sassen can get that tower, he may be able to open things up.
That's right. Well, here we go. SBENU versus Anarchy, game one. Let's see who takes it. All right, welcome to Summoner's Rift. SBENU Sonic Boom versus Rebels Anarchy. You're on a very rainy, humid, and hot Friday. You don't move to Seoul, South Korea for the weather, that's for sure.
Hey, you could live here probably 5 months of the year and the weather is beautiful. Or,
yeah,
you could just move south, move to Busan.
I mean, I came from Minnesota, so I guess I can't complain. So it was worse there, I admit. Ooh, shenanigans coming in for Anarchy. A little bit of deep warding, perhaps. Oh, they're going to get that one.
Get some auto attacks down.
Yep.
Looking for that invade. Oh, time to hide.
If you put the mask over your face, you can't watch the game. Yep. Some early scouting being done by Rebels Anarchy. It's going to be interesting too, because as you look at these two teams, I feel like Ixu, Lyra, and Mickey are probably the stronger ones on Anarchy. And I feel like Sassen, Nuclear, and Secret are kind of the stronger ones on SBENU. So you've got kind of this weird dynamic where the opposite roles tend to be the more powerful ones on each side.
Yeah, that's true. I think Soul and Catch definitely weaker than their counterparts. And Nuclear and Secret, I mean, Snowflower and Songyun aren't really big slouches, but you might be able to give Nuclear just a slight edge in that situation.
I just think Nuclear and Secret have more playmaking ability, you know? They just seem mechanically a little bit stronger to me.
Yeah, and especially Snowflower when he's not on Thresh hasn't had that same level of dominance. Well, we are going to see an early Gromp take here by Anarchy. Nothing on the side of SBENU, so fast level 2 for the Anarchy duo lane. They really don't want to be bullied out by this Kalista and Annie combination.
Well, they should be able to do plenty of bullying themselves with this Braum Lucian lane as well. Secret and Nuclear just taking their sweet time, taking these early minions, it looks like.
So, yep. And that we'll see how well this translates to an advantage. Again, Snowflower does like to leave the lane and roam quite a bit. Means Nuclear and Secret might have some great opportunities for an all-in onto Songyun. Snowflower going to have to probably calm down with his roaming in this particular game.
Probably.
So when we've seen this matchup before, for example, with Faker playing into the Runeglaive Ezreal with a Victor, What he likes to do is just shove super hard early, chip the tower, take the tower, and just keep somebody bottled up right at their tier 2 and start roaming and making plays on the map. Now Sassen will have the opportunity to do that. He's got some great damage in his duo lanes, particularly in bottom for some diving potentially. That's something to look forward to here. If you want to contain the Ezreal, you really don't want to go even in the laning phase. You need to keep him on his back foot through a large amount of the game.
Yeah, very true. Catch will just be farming a little bit at the red buff. And here we go, Snowflower already going on a bit of a roaming mission here. Yeah, just looping around to do a little bit more damage to Secret, I guess, but seems like a good way to leave your AD carry vulnerable and miss XP to me.
Well, they were level 3 while the other duo was level 2, so there's that factor to it. That was why he was able to get away with it without one of them just getting all in.
Wow, Nuclear 100% win rate on that Kalista. And here's a gank on top lane. Soul in a little bit of trouble. There's a knock up. Soul, can he get away? Already burned that flash. Doesn't look like it. And Soul very low, and who's going to get the first blood? It will go over to Lyra.
Yeah, pretty aggressive pushing forward right there, and if you're doing that on the Rumble, it's about having your jungler there to back you up. If he wants to push forward on Rumble, he has to tell Ketch that's what's going on. Ketch has to get into the lane on the top side so that if a gank occurs, you can easily counter gank. So that was a very predictable gank coming in about 4 minutes from Anarchy.
Well, Cat's running in to take a little bit of the enemy jungle, so at least he's able to strike back just a tiny bit anyway. But
yeah, there's just so much. There's so much kill pressure in that lane, though. The Maokai and the Gragas make it very easy to set up ganks.
Yeah. Oh, nice blocking from Snowflower. Saw that stun come in from Secret and got right there with the shield. And yeah, I mean, Catch just has kind of had a history this season of not really ever being in the right place at the right time.
Well, he just has to coordinate with the Rumble. That's as much of a mistake from Soul as it is from Catch. You have to be in calm, saying to your jungler, hey, I need to push forward right now. I need you to back me up, because that's just how Rumble operates as a champion. So easy first blood for Lyra. Now, SBENU has actually built up a very large CS lead in this bottom lane between the AD carries. So Songyun, it's like he's having a very tough time laning against this Kalista. If you're going to pick Lucian these days, you'd better be picking him for his laning phase.
Yeah.
Because you have to get ahead for him to be very effective, which he can do, and we've seen it work against Sivir, we've seen it work against Corki, but there are better AD carries to select if you want to go low economy on some of these AD carries. He catches up with that wave, however, so he's not too terribly far behind.
Well, Lyra is going to be spotted by this ward. Nice position for that ward, actually. Not hiding that in try, so they'll still be able to use it. Ooh, Soul. I think you can see him. Oh, no, there's a ward. Aha.
He's been discovered now. It's dropping that trinket ward right away, and that'll be maybe 2 wards cleared, actually, with the Raptor buff from Lyra. It's like he did get that second one.
Yeah, the pink ward couldn't see it initially, but the Raptor buff did reveal it. And with the jungler spending so much time on the top of the map, though, it really has given Nuclear a chance to be very pushy in this lane, but Songyun started to catch up, so that might not last forever.
Yeah, it might not. So 400 gold, really the only difference right now. The measure of that first blood. And we do see Mickey choosing the Rangers Trailblazer first before getting the Sheen, so really wanting that wave clear. And now Sassen goes back on Victor, starts to upgrade his Hex Core. And this is where the pushing begins. And a lot of this for SBENU is going to come down to how well Ketch can control the map. Because Victor is going to be pushing up to try and deal with his Ezreal. They have to have good vision around the mid lane for Sassen. You can see Sassen goes back and buys both a pink and a green ward to help deal with this.
Songyun and Snowflower being a little bit sneaky in the brush, but not a big mystery where they are. As they reveal themselves nearly a level 6, though. I wonder if they're going to go all in on this. The way they were walking up made me wonder if they're about to hit it. But nope. Probably a smart idea to go for that Rangers Trailblazer for Mickey, just to keep up in wave clear a little bit easier against the Victor.
Yeah, he's tried to steal the blue buff with the True Shot Barrage. Unfortunately, for Mickey, it wasn't low enough to actually take. He only got some damage down on a catch. That was about it. And Now Sol is returning into the top side. Ever since that gank, he's been falling a little bit behind in terms of that CS on Rumble. Not going to be the end of the world. Lyra gets an early invade here. Oh, Lyra, this is really dangerous for Lyra. He's just gonna recall right behind the red buff right now.
Sawson could just come down and intercept him though, but it doesn't look like Catch is gonna find him. Not quite.
He was
man, that was
very
close.
dead there. If he
Yes,
was found.
That was definitely a dead Lyra. But as is, because he wasn't spotted, that could be a bit of a mystery right now for SBENU, just where exactly Lyra is at the moment.
Well, Lyra was replaced by the Euro, actually.
That's right.
We know where Lyra is.
I thought it was strange that he named himself after an old Italian currency.
We'll see what happens the next few years, though.
That's true.
Euro may be going away. Uh-oh.
Oh,
No. 50
nearly
HP.
stole it.
Very close. Mickey trying to make some big plays on the map right now. He's doing just fine in this laning phase so far, not falling behind in terms of CS, and we haven't seen that much pressure yet from Sawson. They finally have some wards around that mid lane so that he can play more aggressively, but got to make something happen here.
Yeah, wave clear used by Sol, and he's just going to back off. Looks like they spotted Lyra coming into the jungle anyway, so Sol going to find an opportunity to go back here. Yep, just replacing that ward. That is about that.
Exciting times.
I know, right? I thought it was going to be a bit more aggressive than this. Oh, well. We've got plenty of games left for that to happen. Oh, Lyra coming in. They're going to try to make a play onto Sawson here. Pushes him back. Are they going to get the slough in time? Sawson uses that summoner heal, flashes over the wall, and it doesn't look like they can quite pursue him, and Mickey didn't quite get him low enough to hit him with the true shot barrage for the finisher.
That's why you really need to make sure that you get these wards airtight around the mid lane, or you have your jungler there with you while you're pushing forward, because otherwise you leave yourself open to these ganks. Now he doesn't have any summoners. He's going to be even more reluctant to start chipping away at this turret, and there's nothing stopping Mickey's Runeglaive Ezreal from getting where he needs to be in this game.
Yeah,
Going to be very strong at this stage, unless something drastic happens. They haven't been able to get the necessary, they haven't been able to starve him out, really, and they haven't been able to open up the map either. So Catch right here, pretty much just been farming this game, and he's only 2 CS behind. He hasn't even really tried to make a play when it comes to ganking.
Yeah, it is a bit odd, actually, especially because Rek'Sai has pretty decent wave clear to begin with, so kind of wonder what he's been doing a little bit.
Well, he's been farming, but not very efficiently.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be farther ahead.
Lyra has at least been putting pressure down. He's been seen on wards in the top side, forced Sol to play very far back, got the first blood. Just nothing else happening right now. Now he blew 2 summoners, and Catch has to do something here. He gets seen on another deep ward in his jungle. Anarchy has had good vision and good warding this whole game.
Whoa, that's some damage onto Secret. Could be in trouble. Drops the Timbers with a stun, and Nuclear pulls him out just in time. That was a nice try from Anarchy, but quick reaction from Secret and Nuclear, and they keep their support alive.
Yeah, good True Shot Barrage. Does actually force a summoner another lane, which is a big win. I don't think they had to use the Braum ultimate right there, because they would have forced the Fate's Call either way, with or without using it. And since that spell is so quick, unlikely you're going to be able to hit the Annie. But
yeah,
in any case, they trade 1 ult for 2 and a summoner, so that's a good lead.
Oh, Sawson getting very low, and one last Mystic shot will get Mickey the kill. Well, what can you say? Just got a little bit too close, and the roam from Snowflower helped Mickey and Lyra pick that one up.
And you have to know that's coming. This is how Snowflower plays the game. They know that they chunked the Annie out, but Secret had to go back to base. That opens up an opportunity for Snowflower to come into the mid lane, and here's the true shot. Nope.
Nice dodge. Unlikely that he would have hit him. I mean, with the tunnels, it's easy for Catch to dodge that one, but either way, good thing to try if you're Mickey anyway.
And right there, I mean, what do you say? You know that Snowflower's been opened up for the roam. You know that Snowflower likes to camp the mid lane with Lyra. Can't be making those kind of mistakes. So now Sawson's Victor starting to fall behind, and it's going to be very tough to contain this Runeglaive Ezreal. He has been getting all the blue buffs. They haven't been threatening the blue buff at all. despite having the Kalista, they should have pressure on this lane with Annie Kalista, and Catch has yet to make a game.
I'm pretty shocked to begin with that they gave Mickey this Runeglaive Ezreal.
Well, he lost with it last time he played it.
Still, though, I mean, it's just such a strong champion. I feel like you can't be like, oh, well, he lost one game with it, so.
Well, I think that if we look at the way that Anarchy wins games, it's not when Mickey is hanging it back and poking, typically. It's when he is in the mix in the back line. That is how they win. And in this particular circumstance, this has not been an effective style of League of Legends for Anarchy. So I don't think it's a problem to give him the Runeglaive Ezreal. I think it's a big problem the way that SBENU has done nothing to slow it down. They haven't even tried.
Well, here comes Lyra now clearing out even more wards. Assassin just keeps getting pushed back.
And what this means is now there's amazing pressure on Secret to lock down the Ezreal.
Oh, Tibbers used. Snowflower gets stunned. They're going to try to get ahead. Secret flash for that for the Ignite, but it's nowhere near enough damage. Summoner heal used for Songyun, and that's going to keep Snowflower alive. So another attempt to take out a support in the game, and it does not work out.
Really doesn't. I was curious if we'd actually see some more, basically a movement to the Runan's Hurricane here from the Kalista as a first item, which isn't something we've seen in Korea, but because of that nerf to her basic attack damage, getting a bunch of spears ready for her rend may actually be the more efficient way to itemize her. So
Could be.
You're probably going to see it as a second item, just wanting that sustain, I guess, right now. And with the Q max first, of course, you're still going to scale off of that BF sword. So it's not bad. I'm just curious how this changes the thought process, if at all. Lyra is deep right here. There is a rumble right there. And
He's been on some dangerous missions this game, but so far has not really been punished for it. Going for the blue buff now. Nope, back over the wall.
Yep.
So now, SBENU was able to use that aggression in bot lane to take the dragon, so at least they did get something out of it, aside from a summoner or two.
All right, catches here, and Secret coming up right now. No flash for Secret, so it will be very difficult for him to do anything about Mickey pushing forward here and spamming those Qs and Ws into Sassen, but Mickey now completely in control of this lane, has the Runeglaive, got his needlessly large rod, so very dangerous situation for SBENU. They're a couple K behind right now. The only advantage that they have is they have that one dragon.
Yeah, pretty much. With that rumble, you'd think they could keep fighting dragon a bit anyway.
Oh yeah, they can.
They've got a strong team fight with this team.
Yeah, but late game, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do anything about this Ezreal. They decided to pick the Annie instead of the Braum. They wanted that engaged. They thought this was going to be enough. They didn't take the Maokai. They took the Rumble instead. But that meant that they had to stall this out. They had to just deal with Mickey in the mid lane before it got too crazy. And 16 minutes into this one, and a kill advantage already to Anarchy. SBENU has to do something drastic.
Well, I wonder how Secret's Braum is, because he's been good on, Alistar, Janna, but he doesn't really seem to have the biggest champion pool. So I wonder how much of that choosing to not take Braum was just because he simply can't play it very well.
I don't know. Braum is not that hard of a champion to use
Not
mechanically,
really.
so you're pretty much just watching out for a true shot barrage and hitting your unbreakable and jumping to somebody. So I don't know how much that of a factor that is. But
Lyra
right.
might get caught here, throws down the ward. No reaction. Can't quite catch him.
Not enough people there to effectively follow up on that. So that plan is just abandoned.
Yeah, pretty much. Nuclear looking to hit his level 10 here fairly soon. Not a fairly passive game yet overall, aside from a couple kills coming in from Anarchy. A nice taking of the dragon by SBENU.
Well, not sure what this Kalista pick is supposed to do in this particular game. Not looking like it's going to be really taking over the lane. They didn't get any ganks for their Annie Kalista combo. Lyra has really been I think the star of this game so far. He's made it work, and there we go.
Oh, yep, they find Lear. He's right there. Nice flash from Nuclear. Oh, he gets pushed back anyway, though. Snowflower coming in, misses his ult. Secret drops the Timbers to slow down Songyun and Lyra, and it looks like they have to back away. Secret gets a bit low, but he does save his AD carry. Oh, here comes two-shot barrage, though. Look out, Secret. Whoa, that was close.
Still takes a nice chunk out of Nuclear. He'll be able to heal that up very quickly with the help of the Bloodthirster, but Anarchy with another attempt at some aggression. And they get another summoner spell, another 2 summoner spells, as a matter of fact, for it. They don't use anything of their own. So SBENU has just been pretty comprehensively outplayed player by player. And Catch, again, has been a total non-factor.
Yeah. I got my hopes up. I got my hopes up too high. I mean, we're only 18 minutes into the first game, but it's not looking good, is it?
Yeah, it's not. I think Lyra really is outclassing Catch here, and
you know, the thing is too is that I feel like if SBENU doesn't win a match today, that's kind of it. I feel like this is their last best chance to win a match this season.
Probably. It's hard to argue with that.
We've never had a completely defeated. I guess the opposite of undefeated is defeated. So we've never had a winless match or winless team in Champions before.
To be fair, this is the first year that we've actually started running the league format.
True.
So it's hard to, we've only had, this is only the second season.
It's hard to imagine,
not a large sample size.
Hard to imagine, man. Oh, and Secret could be in a lot of trouble. That's a big true shot barrage. Wow, Mickey just destroys him. Oh, man. Well, that's a lot of damage coming in, and he is certainly a bit vulnerable.
Certainly is. He is now up 25 CS. No threat to his turret. Already has the Ludenzyko 2 kills. We said, who carries these teams? It's Mickey and Sassen. Now Sassen is heavily losing this lane, and there is not much that he can do.
Yeah, it's going to need to be...
Mickey going to start laughing in the mid lane.
It's going to need to be like a miracle team fight for SBENU to have any hope this game. Otherwise, we may actually see this one get closed out pretty quickly.
So with the destruction of the tower in the bottom lane, that will mean that Songyun is now up in the top side. Still only 25 seconds to go on this dragon. So lane assignment may be a bit of an error.
Trying to make a play on the Mickey, and there's the Timbers. They're going to catch him, but will there be enough damage? Mickey gets taken out. Sassen drops the Chaos Storm on him, and that is a big kill to get right before Dragon comes. And if SBENU can get the second Dragon, that may give them a little bit of a new lease on life.
And that is pretty much the only way they can kill Mickey.
Yeah.
However, when you make a play like that, it is going to always take Sassen's flash if Mickey is positioned properly to get in range to burst him down. So SBENU still has a tiny amount of hope.
Yeah.
They're going to trade a dragon for a tier 1 tower in top lane. They get a kill on a Mickey, slow him down just a little bit. But the other issue with this is Mickey, once he gets a QSS, that is no longer going to be possible, and there is no other way to catch him.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Unless he happens to Arcane Shift right on top of the Equalizer or something and then gets slowed. Trying to imagine ways, and
forever
there
the
are not a lot of
optimist.
them.
Yeah, there's not.
Hey, I'd just like to explore all the options.
It is still going to be difficult. He can even have a Banshees. He doesn't even have to get a QSS.
I mean, Sassen, the core item behind him, and doesn't look like he's going to be able to build in anything anytime soon.
No, there are a lot of issues. So, here we go. More harassment.
Oh, stun comes in, and Mickey gets a bit too close, and that's another kill for Sassen. They're really taking advantage of the no flasher Mickey, and they just need to keep doing that, man. If they can keep making those plays until that flash is up again, Mickey could be in a little bit of jeopardy.
Mickey also arcane shifted into Sassen right there.
Hey.
He did not know where Secret was on the map, so that actually made it very easy to set that up. So he already used his mistake, or his escape, in a foolish fashion.
When are you going to stop making excuses for Mickey, Monte Cristo? They just caught him twice.
First one was good. The second one was definitely Mickey's fault.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Well, if you keep arcane shifting into your opponent, if you want to be like Woong, then yes. Yes,
See,
there is a chance.
I thought he would arcane shift onto like an Equalizer. I didn't realize he'd arcane shift right into Annie's stun.
Well,
that's even better.
Secret had to flash for it.
Yeah.
But still, pretty sloppy.
They may be able to get a bot turret from this too. Songyun's going to start coming down, but I don't think he can get there in time. Just a little bit too dangerous, though, to take that one out. Yeah. Not really a lot of wards in river, so they don't know if people are coming right down. Well, things are still looking pretty good for Anarchy, but that they've at least gotten a little bit interesting anyway. Monte Cristo doesn't look very interested, though.
I'm not. I'm really not very interested in Runeglaive Ezreal as a concept. Can't wait till that goes away and delightful patch 5.14.
What about Runeglaive Ziggs?
No. No more Runeglaive.
Oh.
I'm over it already. I thought I liked it, but then I got bored with it.
This season has been kind of like the season of jungle items that have a big effect in other lanes and then get nerfed into oblivion.
They're escaping the jungle, Doa.
That's right. Season 5 has truly been a rumble in the jungle.
No, it's more like a rumble with the jungle items.
A rumble outside of the jungle.
There actually hasn't been much rumbling in the jungle. In fact, since the debut of Cinderhulk, there has been less rumbling in the jungle than there has been since ever before.
There was never a lot of rumble in the jungle to begin with.
Oh, come on. You could definitely see Kha'Zix and Lee Sin duels going, people going at it.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual champion. Oh, they catch Songyun, and that's going to be another kill for Nuclear, but here comes the teleport. Ixu all over Nuclear right away. Soul there to protect him. Could drop a nice equalizer onto these guys. They're going to escape over the wall, though. And another pick for SBENU. Don't call it a comeback. Ooh, chunk taken out of a few members of SBENU, but it's not going to save the turret for Anarchy, and the gold lead is closing a little bit.
I mean, what else are we going to call it here, Doa? It's been a 4K gold lead that is just basically melted away.
Yeah, down to 1K now.
In the last few minutes, and all of it's been based around Secret's Annie. He's been the one locking people down, making sure they get back into... Get back a couple of kills, and it's actually a shiv onto Nuclear.
Huh, okay. Interesting. Huh.
It's
not going to be a lot of damage, but, I mean, it is more pushing power, I suppose.
Yeah, it is that wave clear.
Yeah.
So you can keep on pushing up some of these lanes. Obviously, Callista's still a very good champion, even with those nerfs. But
and it is attack speed as well, too, which is, you know, decent on Callista.
Sure, but when you have the big-time rend with all of the extra targets that Hurricane gives you, that's what I thought would be more of a priority. But Korea's never liked that, and I guess they still don't.
Nope. Well, Secret taking the opportunity to get a couple deep wards down, and yeah, the second round of this season, you know, even though they haven't won a lot of games, Secret has consistently been a decent playmaker for his team. And I really wonder, I mean, after the season, our big, long off-season between Worlds and then 2016, I wonder what sort of changes we're going to see happen with SBENU.
Well, it'll be an interesting question. Obviously, they'll probably be doing a lot of scouting in solo queue during that period.
New jungler, new top laner. This team could maybe be something with a bit of practice.
I mean, they do actually have a substitute top laner. The only position that SBENU has that they don't have a substitute in is the jungle.
Yeah.
They have plenty of depth to this roster to work with.
You know, as kind of weak as Soul has looked too, I do feel like he's been better in the games we've seen Soar play.
This is true, but Soar gets you free Riven bans, which is a nice bonus.
That is true, yeah. Well, Dragon coming up right now, and SBENU has all the vision here, and they catch Ixu. Wow, there's a knockup. Ixu goes back in onto Secret, but there's enough damage. He flashes over the wall. They use the Ren. There's the equalizer getting very, very low, and they're going to go for a team fight. Big Tibbers. Lyra comes back to try to make a play here. Bramalt goes through, doesn't really do a whole lot. There goes Lyra. Ixu barely escaped, but they're just going to turn on this Dragon. That's going to be Dragon number 3 for SBENU.
Well, SBENU is doing a good job of creating picks and turning them into objectives, and so they're going to get their third Dragon pretty early in this one, about 27 minutes. So we only have to wait until about 38 minutes, 39 minutes rather, until we get this 5th Dragon stack on the line. If SBENU can secure the next one too, and Anarchy just having trouble not getting picked off. and eating a bunch of damage.
This has been Anarchy's season, though. I mean, their team has looked so aimless post like 20 minutes in the second round that it isn't maybe too surprising that this is happening.
Yeah, and the real person who pays for this is, of course, Lyra.
Yeah.
Gets knocked up right here, but that Flame Spitter just doing so much damage to the front line. Great gravity field, too. Able to lock up Lyra. They nearly take down 3. Anarchy very lucky they didn't actually lose more.
Good equalizer from Soul as well, too, right through the choke. It wasn't exactly the hardest to put down, but it did work.
Well, Secret has pretty much single-handedly gotten his team back in this game.
Yes, he has. Oh, careful, dodging two-shot barrage, Chaos Storm, and there we go, Sasson flashing for the 1v1 onto Mickey. Oh boy, it's time, it's SBENU's day.
Well, Mickey has been playing this Runeglaive Ezreal. He looks like he's so desperate to carry this team.
Yeah, he's trying.
And you have to be patient, you have to poke. He can't keep arcane shifting into the enemy. He's woonging right now.
he's woonging hard, it's true.
You can't woong.
Yeah. For the uninitiated, the woong is when you arcane shift into certain death. Over and over and over again. Usually found in the bot lane, but occasionally in the mid lane.
You never want to make the woong decision.
That's right. Yeah.
Comes back to haunt you.
Well, it's okay, because as we learned in the past, time heals all wounds.
It does.
Yeah. Yep. See arcane shifting forward already. I've got to be careful.
Well, I think he might be okay in his base.
You never know.
You never know. I mean, he's probably paranoid about this Annie these days.
Yeah.
Never know where that Annie's just going to pop out of a bush
be,
and timbers you.
Secret's so bloodthirsty, dude. It's great. Making the plays, and they're going to push up this lane again. And it looks like they may try to collapse here too, although Sasson's not there. Soul is not there, although they do have the teleport. And Anarchy trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Baron area. Oh, can you smite it? Oh, no, didn't get it. They tried.
You know, the Baron area is actually just called a barony.
The barony?
Yeah.
Is that that's what we should call it from now on?
Well, I mean, that's the technical term for a baron's land.
Yeah, we should use that. Sure, why not? The barony.
Just like that's where the word county comes from. Because that was the
count's land.
The count's land. That was the area controlled by a count.
What do you know? You're saying there were counts in the U.S. at one point?
Yeah, I think it's just a word that they applied at that point. But
I don't remember those.
That's where the root of the word comes from.
I want to be a count. If I ever move back there, I'll become the count.
Vondoa.
That's right, Count Vondoa.
That's a nice
that'd
ring
be like
to it.
of Doa, though. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, you just name your county Doa.
That's true.
You'd be Doa Vondoa.
Welcome to Doa County, home of Doa Castle. You know, make it like a big tourist attraction, like the House on the Rock in Wisconsin. You know.
No, Doa. I don't know what Midwest tourist traps there are.
Like the world's largest ball of twine in Minnesota. Like the giant trout in Madison, Minnesota. Or was it a bass? I always forget.
So you don't even know the Midwest tourist traps.
Giant ear of corn somewhere nearby. There's a lot of giant plastic things. That's really small town Minnesota's claims of fame. Let's take something that pretty common. We'll make it big. Just make it big and call it the biggest in the world. Then people will flock from miles around. See it. And buy taquitos from our gas stations. Brilliant.
How are the Minnesota gas station taquitos?
Not good. Not a good choice, I'm afraid. Better than the Slim Jim, anyway. Well, there goes that sponsorship, I suppose. Oh well.
Gas station taquitos.
I cannot tell a lie.
We were actually in negotiations with gas station taquitos to sponsor OGN, and now you ruined it forever.
I can't just be like, snap into a Slim Jim and like get it back or something. Uh-oh, Mickey could be in a little bit of trouble. That's a lot of damage yet again. Nuclear tries to make a play, backs off at the last second. Oh, here comes Ixu. Nuclear getting very, very low. Gotta be careful here. It's a brawl, and there's a kill. They take out Songyun. Snowflower barely alive. Sasson harassing the backlines, but he's okay. There goes Ixu. Another one team fight for SBENU. Well, how about that?
That was a 5v4 because Lyra wasn't even there.
They snapped into it, Songyun.
They certainly did.
Now it's time for Baron. I mean, this is how it's been, is catch people, win a team fight, take an objective.
Yeah, it's been very simple for
It's a good way to
SBENU.
play League of Legends, isn't it?
It is a good way to play League of Legends, but it's also a very bad way to play League of Legends if you're Anarchy, because you've had some really big moments of over-aggression, especially from Mickey.
Oh, that two-shot barrage. Well, pretty close.
No, you're never going to outsmite a Rend stack from Nuclear.
Yeah.
Not really a thing that's going to happen.
I won't even contest that type nullifying.
So let's take a look at
It's
this again.
true.
I mean, Soul is here. This starts as, it's a 4v3 to start out with. Where is
Nuclear?
Lyra? Lyra's just not even there right now. So Nuclear actually just gets twisted advanced out right out of the teleport. Lyra comes, but by the time he's there, so is
Saucin just zones him out.
Secret in the back. And yeah, really not even willing to commit to that. Probably should have at least used his explosive cast to try and disengage for a few members of his team.
I would think so. So Dragon is up again. Baron-powered SBENU is coming back to try to do something about it. They did get the Speed Shrine from the Rift Scuttler. So Anarchy, SBENU can probably still just fight this. But do you take that risk? Do you just say, hey, go ahead and take that Dragon. We're just going to push lanes. I feel like you don't need to fight this Dragon too hard.
Well,
What do you think? Looks like they're going to just get it anyway.
I think you might
All right.
consider this just a little bit, because otherwise you're going to spend the rest of the game staring down the 5 Dragon stacks. But with that Baron buff, there's not a really good way. Nope, not going to work. So,
Wow.
early True Shot Barrage, and SBENU on the cusp of going 1-0 in this series.
Yeah. Well, I'm still saying 2-1 overall. And we saw how Anarchy did have a pretty substantial lead in the early game. It was just picks largely created by Secret that have led back to this pretty dominating second half of the game for SBENU.
Well, they just had to be careful, and honestly, Mickey is just not very good at playing this Runeglaive Ezreal. He likes to go all in, and you just can't do that with this Ezreal pick. Saucin is playing Victor. He has more burst. He will just destroy you. He has a summoner heal, you don't. If you try and 1v1 this guy, and you try and get your arcane shift damage in, it's over. You're dead. So Mickey playing vastly too aggressive. You have to be patient. Where is the power of Runeglaive Ezreal? It's in his patience and his poke. And you just need to stand back and do the work over time instead of trying to be the hero.
That's going to be another turret going down in favor of SBENU. I mean, here's the question now then. So if Mickey can't handle this Runeglaive Ezreal, do you have to ban it next game or risk giving it to Saucin? Because we know Saucin can play it really well.
Very good on it, yes.
Yeah.
That is true. So yes, I do think that they will just ban it out, because it's obvious that they consider it a priority. They did first pick it on the red side. We could expect SBENU to do the exact same thing.
Absolutely. Well, that turret nearly going down as well.
Again, we could see Anarchy try and play the Yasuo game. Say, we've got this Yasuo. They picked Yasuo after SK Telecom, picked the Ezreal in their last meeting, but in the end, Faker ended up just playing Aurelia against the Yasuo and doing very well in that lane.
SBENU just kind of dotting the I's and crossing the T's on this one, just keeping the lanes pushed up, and they don't really need to be aggressive at all right now. They can just wait until that 5th Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to get it in 3 minutes, and there's not very much. They're going to force an apocalyptic fight with Anarchy at that Dragon. It doesn't even really matter if they get it or not, because they still have that late game 5th Dragon to think about. They can just keep threatening that objective, considering that Anarchy have 0.
Yep. I gotta say too, Nuclear's Kalista has been very good. The way he played in that last team fight before they got Baron as well was pretty impressive. Playing just barely on the edges of danger.
He got caught out a little bit early. He was standing next to the minion that there was a TP on, so he did eat the immediate twisted advance and have to use a summoner. But other than that, it's been pretty nice.
Yeah. Better than what we've seen from Songyun, at least.
Oh yeah, that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
Songyun has just not delivered on the Kalista at all.
It's interesting to think, too, that, like, right now, SBENU is stronger on these major power picks than Anarchy is, and it looks like they may have caught Lyra again a little bit. A little bit of damage onto him. But yeah, I mean, Anarchy, they can't play the Runeglaive Ezreal. They can't really play the Callista. Those are some pretty important champions to be able to play right now.
Well, it's just not their meta. They were thriving earlier when they actually got these assassin picks.
Oh,
Here we
teleport
go.
coming in. Did they catch? We'll see. He burrows under the wall. Ixu trying to come in with that home guard, but they've still got that teleport defending them, and SBENU is going to be just fine. So there's the teleport burned. Soul used it as well, though. And Anarchy just going for it, man. You got to try something.
Yo, Void Rush coming back
Oh,
through.
are they going to go in here? Perhaps. If they can catch Mickey, he's poking from the outside for now.
Well, at least Mickey has his flash up, so he can.
Yeah.
He's not going to be as worried about dealing with this Annie.
So Baron and Dragon coming up within about 20 seconds of each other right now, which could make things a bit interesting. But SBENU obviously probably want to prioritize that 5th Dragon. Shot barrage barely hits Soul. That's not the way you want to use that. And are they going to come in? Seeker comes over the wall. There's a huge Timbers that goes down. Equalizer used. Doesn't do a whole lot. There's a kill already for Rumble. They're just going to go right in. Songyun, Snowflower pushed away. And they can jump all over Ixu. Man, they blew up Mickey instantly. A double kill for Nuclear. And that has got to be near the end of the game. They're going to get an inhibitor and then just back off. Take all the objectives they want. And they may be able to descend it right here, although without a minion wave, I don't know.
They're going to be waiting just a little bit for this one, but I think they may have
They've got enough time. Yeah, I think they might.
I think they might too. If not, we'll find out very shortly. There's still an 80 carry up, so they have to be careful.
He doesn't have his ultimate though, so that's a big part of this here. Already at about half health. There goes one turret. This one's going to be really close. I think Mickey up in 15 seconds. Songyun very low though. Catch tried to flash for the kill, and now they're going in the Nexus. Looks like that is going to be it. SBENU with a nice comeback takes game 1.